Get ready, Mass Effect universe, the troll is coming, as the flashlights and their cheap-ass friends line up for an ass-kicking from the battle monster. And with some commentary from Bunky, you too can learn Domino's secret cheat code. Melee, 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 melee. So watch the Krogan beat the Geth like they owe him money in this gameplay from Domino's with commentary from Bunky. Okay, let's look at Geth Relationships 2.0. The Krogan Battlemaster Facts. Captain Tackles is up for another unshakable, fist-bumping, light-bulb-smashing game, and I've taken the time to gather for you a few facts from our team of experts. Fact 1. When Prime shut down for the night, they check under their bed for the Krogan Battlemaster. Fact 2. When Krogans are babies, they're rocked to sleep by their mothers with real rocks. Fact 3. Krogan Battlemasters don't have blood. They're filled with molten magma. Fact 4. Krogans don't die, they just get less angry. And finally, fact 5. Some people can piss their name in the snow. The Krogan Battlemaster can piss his name in concrete. In short, people, he's going to wreck up this place. The Geth can't hope to kill the Krogan Battlemaster. This is the easiest way for you to go and get your solo mastery. Just rock gold, put on the Krogan Battlemaster and take on the Geth. Without sync kills, there is nothing stopping this guy, because conventional gunfire is just not going to be enough. He's a reaper. Okay, Dom's going to take full advantage of his incredible tankiness by just meleeing all things. I mean, Krogans have got an incredible melee attack. They really do. It's not the strongest in the game anymore, but it's more than enough to just smash up any kind of trooper enemy, any kind of mook like that. And with the combination of barrier and biotic charge, there is nothing that's going to kill him. Because one thing you need to know also about Krogans is they have immense shields and health. And the barrier gives them even more shields. So from the very beginning, they're taking a massive amount of pain. I mean, look at this now. He's getting burnt. He's getting shot with a rocket at point blank. He's getting hit by a cloaked hunter. And he's just eating it all. It really doesn't matter. And the moment those barriers are down, he's going in for the charge. And the barriers will be back in that instant, staggering all enemies around him, taking them completely off their feet, and lining them up for another smack in the chops. This melee build for the Krogan Vanguard is a ton of fun and extremely effective. Okay, if you're trying to get your solo mastery, or you're trying to get your melee points up for the Dog of War, this is probably the easiest way you can do it, because look at this. You don't have to worry about dying, because as long as you're not carrying something ridiculously heavy. I mean, Dom's going with a disciple, so like, it weighs nothing. The Krogan might well be running around giving the Geth paper cuts, because that's pretty much what he's carrying there. But you can go with something a little heavier than that. You can treat yourself to like the Riga carbine. That's probably the most I'd probably recommend. Because then you'll be able to charge before your barrier can be taken down. And that's platinum too, guys. You can absolutely do that in platinum. The Krogan Battlemaster really, there is, without a doubt, even with the Juggernaut out and stuff now, he is the best tank in the game. The Juggernaut's great because he does obviously have the largest shields, and he can get them back with his melee and stuff, but it's nowhere near as efficient as just charging in. The Krogan Battlemaster also has a completely unique charge. It's basically a different power with the same name. Krogan Battlemaster's charge is slower but has a ton more force behind it. Once upon a time, he was the only one that was going to knock a Phantom off her feet, making just one more sync kill enemy completely useless against him. I mean, look at the damage you can do. As soon as you go into rage mode as well, which is something I have not brought up yet, and it only takes, if you spec into it, it can only take about 2 melees to do that. You get further damage reduction. So, and obviously your melee goes up, which means you can just keep meleeing and keep your Krogan Rage mode on, which means you've always got this insane amount of damage reduction, and you are just unshakable. Now that's me running around in the game with Dom here. I'm rocking the Shadow. The grim mistake I've made is I'm trying the Executioner pistol on her. That's terrible, to be honest. All its potential is lost in its insanely wonky hit detection. But it's not about me. We're watching Dom in action here. Once you're in Rage mode, a simple Krogan headbutt will probably kill any kind of trooper enemy. But it's always more satisfying to just slide them across the map in the proper Krogan charge. Although obviously you can have some sort of detection issues when you're trying to sort of do a heavy melee on an enemy that's still grounded. Krogans also have a high, well, the Krogan Battlemaster in particular actually has a lot of stagger resistance. You can only stagger a Krogan Battlemaster if he's hit in the back. So you know, if he can actually take a Geth Prime or Atlas missile to the face and just keep going like a bulldozer. Obviously, again, making meleeing that much easier. You can literally jump into an entire horde of enemies and beat the lot of them to death. There's really no issue in that. You might get a little tricky if someone's staggering you from behind, but you'll probably be able to get a charge out and stagger them all back before they're going to be able to kill you. Because when you're in that kind of range, the enemy try to melee you, and they're really trying to kind of bear off shooting you, and that's just, they're not that intelligent, unfortunately. In fact, advanced artificial intelligence. I mean, melee builds are fun, guys. They absolutely are, and this is one of the most effective ones in the game. I mean, at the moment, the Geth are just subject to being cut up or being smashed up. At the moment, this is not a fun game for them. Krogan's also, this guy plays an important role in any kind of team game as well. I mean, a lot of people get the idea that Vanguards are pretty selfish and just after the kills and all that kind of stuff. No, that's an important role that they need to play. And the Krogan Battlemaster does it the best. They're the aggro guys. They go out and they get all the enemy's attention because they can take it better than anybody else. They can charge and get their health back and just keep taking punishment so that the rest of the team don't have to. If they're killing stuff in between all that, then, even better. Which I'm pretty sure, well, every Vanguard will kill stuff while they're charging in. Especially this guy. But with obviously the Krogan's incredible health, he can take more aggro than any other Vanguard and perform that way. He's also, for objectives like when you're doing uploads and all, and devices, you probably don't want him in it, and even escorts. Forgive the Krogan for going out, charging out into battle, just so that mission has no issues. Basically, there's not going to be any enemies coming in giving the team any grief while they do that, because he's out there taking all their attention. He's also, all Krogan are actually fantastic for carrying the pizza as well. Krogan love pizza. So, they can grab that and just light melee their way to victory. Now, one thing to be wary of is that the Krogan heavy melee charge can be kind of wonky in its hit detection too. I mean, you can literally just sort of slide round the enemy or just miss them entirely. What you really kind of want to do when you're going for a Krogan melee build is that you want to have a stagger power so that the enemy are immobilized, so that you can basically just lock into the target and then knock them out. And you can do that with the Vanguard with his charge. So you charge in and they're staggered, and then you hit them when they can't. They're not going to get out of the way. Basically. Obviously, the Krogan Battlemaster is actually shockingly, the only Vanguard to actually have melee synergy in his charge as well, which just really complements the whole thing. I mean, look at this. Pyros will melt most characters in moments, but he literally just punched his way through 2 flamethrowers there. But look, see, he went round and missed the rocket trooper there. If he was to charge, stagger it first, then everything would just sync up and it'd be easy. See, the Krogan laugh because they love what they do. Now, as for Barrier has power synergy as well. So this basically adds strength to his charge. And basically, you can create one of the tightest knit circles in no matter how you play this guy. If you sort of skip out of Carnage, because it really doesn't sync well with this guy. Nowadays, you can get fire explosions off quite reliably, so you could go around and Carnage and charge for fire explosions, or even detonate your barrier if you wanted to be a suicide bomber. But you're really going to be better off just ignoring it completely, because charge and barrier just synchronize in one of the tightest little circles. You can obviously, barrier is going to make your charge stronger, so you do your charge, you hit hard, and then the charge makes your weapons or your melee stronger, and then you kill the enemy with whatever you're rocking. And then you've just essentially rinse and repeat from there. There's little else you need to do. Now this is Firebase Dagger. It can be a bit Hazard Dagger. Sorry, it can be a little tricky to find your targets, but all you need is to get that lock, that little cursor that says there's an enemy here, and you can charge in, and then the low vision's gone because you're going to be right in front of the enemy. There is a slight damage reduction in all heavy melee attacks, so you know the Krogan's got that. I mean, if in doubt, you should charge, but your heavy melee can kind of save you, but not to the same degree as perhaps the well, definitely not to the same degree as the Batarian Vanguards. I mean, look at that, just jump into a group and knock them all out. It's actually quite interesting to see a boxing match between the Krogan and the Primes. The Hunters can try as they may to interrupt, but if they get too close, they're just going to get wrecked by the charge. Fail melee, Prime. Fail melee. And then he gets butted in the butt. I don't know who that was worse for. Now, see, the missile launcher on his back there is it does look kind of ridiculous. Let's be honest. You can lose that though. You want to just sort of switch to your missile and then hold X to switch back to your weapon while approaching a ladder. If you interrupt that animation by literally jumping on the ladder the moment the switch happens, the missile becomes invisible, and then yeah, Krogan's free. It kind of makes you wish that you kind of had the enemy's perspective. I wonder what it looked like for a pyro to just see that charging through the flames. And there you go. See, you'll connect every single time. Charge, heavy, melee, stagger, punch. Another trick about Krogans as well that you might not realise, especially Dom, one of the slowest players I know. They're incredibly slow walkers, but actually very fast runners. If you can run around the map at incredible speeds with a Krogan. That's kind of how they make up for their lack of manoeuvrability. Obviously, they have no dodge roll and that kind of business, but you can kind of forget about that when you're a Vanguard. Now, the whole reason I've jumped on one of Dom's videos here to do some commentary is, well, much because he nagged me to be perfectly honest, but Dom insists that this is the better build. Me and Dom play the Krogan Vanguard slightly differently. Mine's a weapons build, his is a melee build. Both of them are excellent, guys. I'm not going to jump too much into the weapons build. You can go over, check out my channel, and because that's going to be out shortly, and you can see me rocking the weapons build. To be frank, the weapons build is the most effective, but the melee build's probably more fun. Okay, I mean, look at this. This is fun to be had. You're obviously the games aren't going to be this smooth when you're dealing with any other enemy faction other than Geth. Let's be realistic. Banshees, Praetorians, Brutes, you know, all those sync killers are kind of going to change the game a bit. If you were just rocking a weapon, you can gun them down really quick, and you can kind of forget about it. Scratching the Praetorian, to be perfectly honest, unless you had a ranged weapon. But what you need to do is just familiarize. I can't even say the words I'm going to attempt to. What you need to do is just know how enemies sync kill. If you can familiarize, why did I try again? If you can just work that one out, you can basically get round any of them. It's like, for the most part, the enemy has to do a melee attack first before they can sync kill. And what you got to do as the Krogan then is basically not charge in when they've done a melee attack. It's really that simple. You need to stand back, wait for the enemy to do a different attack, a projectile, a shooting power, and then you charge in and then you hit. And it's a different story with the Banshee, though. The Banshee can sync kill whenever the hell she feels like. What you need to do in that situation is actually wait for her to go into her casting stance. She has two stances. One where she's teleporting around the map doing sync kills. That's when you want to stay clear. As soon as she starts firing warp and doing her little Nova screams, that's when she's good to go, guys. You get in and you have fun. Praetorians, you don't want to melee a Praetorian. I really can't recommend it. The only opportunity you have to melee a Praetorian is when it's firing a laser or when it's possessed firing its missiles. In that stance, it's actually open to a melee attack. In any other situation, it's going to land from a flying position and insta-kill you, or it's going to be on the ground and it's going to melee and insta-kill you. It's so fast. It can go from melee to sync kill in a blink, so you really just don't want to get in that kind of distance with them. As a Krogan Vanguard melee build, what I would highly recommend that you do is just don't take on the Praetorian. Unless you're doing a solo against the Collectors, you should have a team that, and I don't think it's too much of an ask, that you take out one enemy and he'll take out all the others. That's because he can take on everybody else, to be honest, unless he's rocking a gun with range, like an assault rifle. But I wouldn't recommend an assault rifle because he's too good at close range. And if you were rocking a long range weapon, it's gonna deter you from just getting stuck in and doing real damage. Obviously, when you charge in, you're right in front of the enemy's face. That you're gonna get. Obviously, that's melee distance, and if you're rocking something like a shotgun, you're going to have bonus damage, okay? So there you go, guys. Pick your poison. Krogan Battlemaster melee build, Krogan Battlemaster weapons build. You can watch mine or Dom's channel to get either. We have worked together to provide you with choice. This is actually a really good game. This is actually a very strong gameplay from Doms here, so you are actually getting a really good example of how to use the Krogan Battlemaster melee build. I can't fault anything other than his weapon choice. I mean, clearly he wants to rock the Omniblade attachment so he can maximise the amount of melee damage his Krogan does, and he's gone with an insanely light gun so that he's got maximum recharge speed, essentially. What you need to remember, guys, is that all non-DLC weapons are going to be affected by that weight anyway, so you can go ahead and treat yourself to some awesome guns like the Wraith and what else comes to mind here? I suppose really I would stick with the Wraith, actually, because all the other non-DLC shotguns are either shit or, you know, kind of heavy, to be perfectly honest. But things like the Piranha as well, you know, it's really light. You can afford to put the Omniblade attachment on that and not really... It's not going to stress you anyway. Krogans, another thing to note is that Krogans actually have a higher capacity for weapons as well. So seriously, you can have some nice weapon support, and I would recommend it for obviously those sync kill enemies that that you cannot sort of punch, or at least you got to really pick the moments that you do. I'm probably going to give a lot of this a mention in my own video. It might not necessarily be worth you watching both of our videos. So I'm definitely going to link up to Dom's video in mine, and I imagine Dom will probably link to mine in this one. So, you know, right from the beginning, you can kind of decide, do I want a melee, do I want a weapon synergy, and you're going to get the full package. But I'll tell you right here, right now, why I'm not rocking the Krogan melee build, and that's because we have a Brutarian Brawler. Okay, guys? It's like, you know, I can do this whole charging heavy melee mechanic with him, and I prefer to do it that way. And I will bring you that gameplay eventually too, but, you know, don't think for a second that means this ain't good. Look at it. Look at the damage he eats. Look at the damage he puts out. I think that's Dom's first death, and he was taking on so many pyros. It's like, you know, you're going to be fine. You are absolutely going to be fine. Equipment you can... Well, I mean, we're wrapping up here. Let's see if I can do this in the last 30 seconds. Equipment you want to rock, guys. Just take the shield stuff. Seriously, shield booster gear, psychonic modulator. You can go with a strength enhancer, obviously, for your weapons bonus. And you probably want to rock, like, incendiary rounds for your gun, actually. So, you know, you can... when you do shoot, you set up fire explosions. Dom's just going to clear himself a path here. And we're all gonna go home. Seriously though, with all that I mean, it's not even necessary for you to have 2 loads of gear, you know, shield gears. You can probably go with like a melee gear as well. Like there's a Juggernaut shields. Yeah, take Juggernaut shields. There's hydraulic joints and stuff. But you know, you can just be stupidly tanky with the both of them. But you know, go ahead and treat yourself. You can go, like I said, probably Juggernaut shields is what I'd recommend, to be perfectly honest. Shield booster for my weapon one, but you know, you can go ahead and check that out if you want to. But that's the game, guys. Hope you enjoyed Dom in action with his less than trolley Krogan Battlemaster. Leave you guys with the scores, and obviously you can see where Dom is where he belongs, below me. Okay, guys, but no. Have a fun, try the Krogan Battlemaster, there's multiple ways to play. Take care of yourselves now. Comment, rate and subscribe. Sorry, I'm going to keep piling on. Comment, rate and subscribe on both of our channels. Dom brings out a lot of funny stuff. I got a lot of useful tips for you. Hope you enjoyed the video.